Hello everybody, we're back to our budget YJ build and it's time to change the windshield frame. This original one had sat outside, a lot of water got down in here. Not only is it rusted, it's all bubbled and it's really in bad shape. In addition to that, the glass is cracked. So I decided to pick up a new windshield frame, which is this one. I opted for a fiberglass frame with some brand new glass in it. These are readily available, but it does require that you paint it. It comes primed, so you do have to paint it. And we're gonna go through the steps that it takes to change this out. The biggest challenge you're gonna have is these bolts here. They're Torx and they're countersunk, so over time they really get bonded in there, sometimes rusted, depending on the condition of the Jeep you found. And a lot of the time what you have to do is put the Torx bit in, hit it with a hammer, and kind of crack the paint around it, and then you stand a small chance that it'll actually come out. In our case, we've actually done that and soaked it with some Torco penetrating lube for a few different applications, trying to get them to break loose. Not all of them did, so we're gonna end up drilling these out. And once you drill them, basically what happens is the head just pops off and it's pretty easy to then get the threads out of what's left. Or in our case, we're replacing the whole frame, so it doesn't even matter. They can stay in there. So a couple more things. You know, you've got this part that you got to get off. You've got the windshield wipers that you need to swap out. You've got the header here that needs to come off, the track that's holding the soft top on. You've also got the visors that'll need to be undone, and remove the rear view mirror. Inside on the back side here, there's 3 bolts per side that hold the inside of the windshield up, and then you'll have to transfer over the wiper motor and the linkage from the inside. Not a big deal, but not quite as simple as just popping this off and popping the new one on. So a little bit, we're gonna go through the steps real quick for you and kind of show you what's involved. But I did want to give you a quick overview of what all it was going to take, and we're gonna go ahead and get going. All right, these are the same. These are painted in place from the factory. Again, if you put the Torx in there and you smack this really good without hitting your finger, this will break the paint around there. And then you can use a ratchet to undo this, but I'm actually gonna use the impact because the hammering effect helps to break the paint loose. Yeah, don't forget about that plate. It's got to come off from the inside. There's one on each side. All right, now with the upper and lower points on both sides loose, the windshield will fold down, and this will give you access to the wiper motor and everything else, the linkage that you need to get to as well. You're better off to get all this out of the way while the windshield's still held in place. A little bit easier just to deal with it right now. We've got a 10mm nut on the bottom of this that we're taking off, and then we'll be able to slip the little arm and the rest of the linkage off of here. You're able to lift the wiper motor up. Now there's linkage that ties it to the rest of the wipers on the inside. So you're gonna need to pop this loose and then go ahead and remove the motor and the linkage and transfer it over to the new windshield frame. All right, we just got the windshield wiper linkage all removed from the frame. So now the last step is pop the rest of these bolts out and the frame is off. And now she's free. All right, my next step was to transfer the rubber seal off the bottom of the old windshield frame onto the new one. Fortunately, all of the screws in this were self-tappers, So it's very easy to just reattach this. You just slip it onto the frame. All right, just snugging up the last of the 4 bolts on each side that go in. We used brand new stainless bolts that are Allen head or hex key instead of the Torx. It's just something common we have around here, and I find it easier to deal with than the Torx. Now it's time to go ahead and slide all the mechanics for the windshield wipers back in. Then we'll fold it up and tie it back to the what's left of the roll cage. Okay, in the process of installing the windshield frame, after you've got it bolted to the hinges, you tilt it back and you put on the 2 inside 3-bolt plates that go on the inside to the dash. Then you're gonna loosen a bolt right here. It's a big T55 Torx head bolt. This will allow this upper roll bar tube to expand or contract so that the plate on the inside can meet the backside of the windshield. You'll screw those in on both sides, and then that helps to lock the whole windshield in place and firm up your roll bars. Then you can go in and put in your visors, your rear view windshield, rear view mirror, and the little footman loop that would allow you to tie the bikini top down. Other than that, you're pretty well set. In my case, I've actually chosen to go with a soft top. So I had to put this little channel, it's a little aluminum channel that you screw into the top, and it works for like a bikini or a full soft top that it wraps underneath there. If you're running a hard top, you don't need that. It would sit on this exact same surface. So either way, figure out what you want to do. It turned out really nice. And if you're like me and you've got a rusty old windshield frame, this fiberglass is a great option to go with.